Hey everybody! Tonight, we're talking about Bitcoin. It's this thing, this digital money thing. Some people say it's the future, others say it's a scam. I'm not here to tell you what to think, but I am here to explain it all in a way that even your grandma who still uses AOL can understand. First things first, what is Bitcoin? It's like digital cash, but instead of being printed by governments, it lives on the internet. No banks, no borders, just pure digital money. You can send it to anyone, anywhere in the world instantly. And when I say instantly, I don't mean like your internet is slow instantly, I mean like really instantly. Now you might be thinking, John, this sounds too good to be true. And you'd be right to be skeptical, because with Bitcoin, there's a whole lot of techie jargon and confusing concepts. But don't worry, I've got you covered. We'll break it all down step by step. By the end of this, you'll be able to impress your friends at parties with your newfound Bitcoin knowledge, or at least you'll be able to understand what they're talking about when they start rambling on about blockchain and Satoshi Nakamoto. So buckle up, because we're going on a wild ride into the world of Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin is digital money, got it. But what makes it so special? Why can't I just use my credit card for everything? Well, Bitcoin is different. It's like digital gold. Just like gold, there's a limited amount of Bitcoin out there. 21 million to be exact. That's it. No more, no less. And just like gold, Bitcoin is mined. But instead of pickaxes and hard hats, we're talking about powerful computers solving complex math problems. It's like a giant digital treasure hunt. And the prize, freshly minted Bitcoins. Now this scarcity, this limited supply, is what gives Bitcoin its value. You see, when something is rare, people want it more. It's basic economics, folks, supply and demand. And because Bitcoin can't just be printed out of thin air like our good friend the US dollar, its value is determined by what people are willing to pay for it. So it's like gold, but instead of storing it in a vault, you store Bitcoin in a digital wallet. Think of it like a super secure online bank account. But instead of trusting a bank with your money, you're trusting, well, math. And that, my friends, is where things get really interesting. Now here's where we get into the weeds a little bit, but stick with me, it's not as complicated as it sounds. In fact, once you grasp the basics, it's quite fascinating. Remember how I said Bitcoin relies on math? Well, that math is all thanks to something called the blockchain. The blockchain is the backbone of Bitcoin, and it's what makes it so revolutionary. Think of the blockchain like a giant public spreadsheet. But unlike a regular spreadsheet, this one is incredibly secure and transparent. Every time someone makes a Bitcoin transaction, it gets recorded on this spreadsheet. This means that every single transaction is documented and can be traced back to its origin. But here's the catch. This spreadsheet isn't kept in one place. Instead, it's distributed across a vast network of computers. It's copied and distributed across thousands of computers all over the world. This decentralized nature is what makes it so robust. So, every time a new transaction is added, every computer on the network updates its copy of the spreadsheet. This ensures that everyone has the same information at the same time. This makes it virtually impossible to cheat the system. The security of the blockchain is unparalleled. You see, to change a transaction, you would have to hack into every single computer on the network at the same time. This level of security is what gives users confidence in the system. And trust me, that's about as likely as winning the lottery while simultaneously being struck by lightning and attacked by a shark on dry land. It's practically impossible. This decentralized, distributed system is what makes Bitcoin so secure. It's a system that doesn't rely on trust in a single entity, but rather on the collective power of the network. It's also what makes it so transparent. Every transaction is out in the open for anyone to see. Anyone can see all the transactions that have ever been made on the Bitcoin blockchain. This level of transparency is unprecedented in the financial world. Don't worry, your personal information is still safe. The blockchain only shows the transaction details, not your personal data. But the flow of Bitcoin itself is completely out in the open. This means that while the transactions are transparent, the identities behind them remain private. So we've got digital scarcity, we've got bulletproof security, and we've got transparency. These are the pillars that make Bitcoin so unique and valuable. What's not to love? Well, like everything in life, there are always two sides to every coin. Bitcoin has its challenges and criticisms too, and Bitcoin is no exception. While it offers incredible benefits, it also comes with its own set of risks and uncertainties. But understanding its foundation helps us appreciate its potential and navigate its complexities. Section 4. Taking back control. Why decentralization matters. Now let's talk about one of the coolest things about Bitcoin decentralization. This concept is at the heart of what makes Bitcoin revolutionary and different from traditional financial systems. But what does decentralization even mean? It can be a bit confusing at first, so let's break it down. Well, remember how traditional currencies are controlled by governments and banks? These institutions have a centralized control over the financial system. They get to decide how much money is printed, where it goes, and what it's worth. This centralized control can lead to issues like inflation and financial crises. Essentially, they have all the power, they make the rules, and we have to follow them, often without any say in the matter. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is like the Wild West of money. It's a new frontier where the old rules don't apply. It's not controlled by any single entity. Instead, it's maintained by a network of computers all over the world. Not governments, not banks, not even a shadowy cabal of billionaires as far as we know. This means no single point of failure and no one entity that can manipulate the system for their own gain. It's controlled by the people who use it. This includes developers, miners, and everyday users like you and me. By you, by me, by your weird uncle who wears a tinfoil hat. Everyone has a role to play in the Bitcoin ecosystem. We all have a say. This collective control is what makes Bitcoin truly decentralized and democratic. This decentralization is a big deal for a lot of reasons. It changes the way we think about and interact with money. First, it means that Bitcoin is resistant to censorship. No central authority can block transactions or seize your funds. No one can shut it down or freeze your account. This is a stark contrast to traditional banking systems where accounts can be frozen for various reasons. Not even your ex who's still mad about that time you forgot their birthday. Your Bitcoin is safe from personal vendettas. Second, it means that Bitcoin is accessible to anyone with an internet connection. This opens up financial services to billions of people who are unbanked or underbanked. No more jumping through hoops to open a bank account or dealing with ridiculous fees. Bitcoin transactions are often faster and cheaper than traditional banking methods. You want to send money to your cousin in Uzbekistan? No problem. Bitcoin doesn't discriminate. It works the same for everyone, everywhere. Decentralization is one of the core principles that Bitcoin was built on. It's about creating a financial system that is fair and open to all. It's about giving power back to the people and creating a more democratic financial system. This is a radical shift from the traditional top-down approach. Now, whether or not Bitcoin can actually achieve that lofty goal remains to be seen. There are still many challenges and uncertainties ahead. But one thing's for sure, it's shaking things up and forcing us to rethink the way we think about money. Bitcoin is more than just a digital currency. It's a movement towards financial freedom and decentralization. As more people understand and adopt Bitcoin, the potential for a decentralized financial future becomes more tangible. It's an exciting time to be part of this revolution. So, whether you're a seasoned investor or just curious about the future of money, understanding decentralization is key. It's the foundation upon which Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are built. And who knows, maybe one day we'll look back and see this as the moment when we truly took back control of our financial destinies. Section 5, Rarity Rules, Why Limited Supply Makes Bitcoin Valuable. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about digital gold, secure spreadsheets, and the power of decentralization. But now, let's get back to the basics. Why is Bitcoin valuable? Sure, it's secure, it's decentralized, it's got all the cool kids talking, but at the end of the day, it's just ones and zeros on a computer screen, right? So, what's stopping someone from just creating more Bitcoin? Well, remember that whole limited supply thing we talked about earlier? That's the key. See, Bitcoin's code is hardwired to limit its supply to 21 million coins. That's it. No more, no less. And because you can't just print more Bitcoin like you can with traditional currencies, its value is determined by supply and demand. The fewer Bitcoins there are available, and the more people want them, the higher the price goes. Think of it like a rare baseball card. The more pristine the condition and the fewer cards there are in existence, the more valuable it becomes. Bitcoin is the same way. It's digital scarcity at its finest. And as more people invest in Bitcoin and as more businesses start accepting it as payment, that demand is only going to increase. Which means that, in theory, the price of Bitcoin should continue to rise. Of course, this is all just speculation. No one knows for sure what the future holds for Bitcoin. But one thing's for sure, its limited supply is a key factor in its current and future value. To understand this better, let's draw a parallel with gold. Gold has been valuable for centuries because it's rare and difficult to mine. Just like gold, Bitcoin is mined, but digitally. The process of mining Bitcoin involves solving complex mathematical problems, which requires significant computational power. This digital mining process ensures that new Bitcoins are created at a predictable and decreasing rate, adding to its scarcity. Every 4 years, the reward for mining Bitcoin is halved, an event known as halving. This further limits the supply of new Bitcoins entering the market. Historically, these halving events have been followed by significant increases in Bitcoin's price, as the reduced supply heightens demand. Investors and financial analysts often keep a close eye on these events, speculating on their impact on Bitcoin's value. Moreover, as Bitcoin continues to gain mainstream acceptance, its limited supply becomes even more crucial. Major companies and institutions are beginning to recognize Bitcoin as a legitimate asset. Bitcoin ATMs are popping up around the world, and more people are using Bitcoin for everyday transactions. In some developing countries, Bitcoin is becoming a vital tool for financial inclusion, providing access to banking services for those who were previously unbanked. This global adoption further drives up demand, reinforcing the value derived from its limited supply. So, while the future of Bitcoin remains uncertain, its limited supply is a fundamental aspect that underpins its value. As long as demand continues to grow, Bitcoin's scarcity will likely keep driving its price upward. And that, in a nutshell, is why limited supply makes Bitcoin valuable. It's a digital asset with a built-in scarcity, much like gold, but with the added benefits of decentralization and security. So next time you hear someone talking about Bitcoin, remember, it's not just about the technology, it's about the rarity, the scarcity, and the ever-growing demand. And that combination is what makes Bitcoin truly valuable. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more insights into the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.